Have you ever been crushed by harsh critiques or unexpected failures? I believed I was skilled enough to just breeze through major projects and tests until reality hit me right in my face. 7 reworks on a presentation, 4 failed attempts at the certification. It forced me to reinvent my methods and my ego. Come with me as I dive into these setbacks and the lessons that transformed me from frustration to be truly resilient. It's easy to see people's polished careers and assume that they sailed through. Mine was anything but smooth. In this video, I'll open up about the tough career struggles that I face, like smashing into brutal feedback, failing a critical exam multiple times, and battling perfectionist tendencies, and share exactly how these challenges shaped me into a stronger professional. At my work, I would do countless presentations as part of the financial routines. I once poured my soul into a presentation, believing that it was really top quality. What was the reaction? A complete disappointment. At first, I felt humiliated, convinced that my boss was just too picky. But as I revised it repeatedly, 7 versions, each better than the last, I recognized that humility was my missing piece. It's true, it used to be difficult for me to accept feedback, being a very proud person. But accepting feedback isn't about the shame, it's about leveling up beyond your comfort zone. By the time I reached the final draft, I saw how these critics actually pushed me beyond okay version into something exceptional. That rework process taught me that constructive criticism is like a mirror showing you what you can't see alone. Now, I embrace feedback as a golden tool, not a personal attack. That mental shift propelled my presentations to new heights. Of course, there are moments when going for perfection is definitely not recommended, but once in a while you will face that opportunity, and to grasp it, it's really worth pushing yourself to the new heights. When I decided not to do my master's, I also made a decision to replace it with what I saw more value in, a financial certificate. And in my case, that was CIMA. I tackled the CIMA series, 12 tests in total, breezing through the first 11. I've learned a lot, but I still managed to go through pretty easily. I figured the last one would be exactly the same, until I failed 4 times. Each attempt felt heavier on my pride. How could I pass almost everything else so easily yet stumble here? Realizing I had to adapt was humbling. The study methods that worked for the previous exams just weren't cutting it now. I restructured my prep, practiced new strategies, and began seeking help from the internet and peers instead of actually tackling it alone. It hammered a critical lesson. Past success can breed complacency, making us resistant to new approaches. If something keeps failing, you need fresh eyes and maybe fresh tactics. Remember that saying that it's so often true. What got you where you are is not necessarily what will help you grow further. Finally, passing that exam reaffirmed that constant reinvention is essential, no matter how skilled you think you are. The discipline to challenge ourselves despite the existing skill level is often what helps the best experts and athletes become even greater. The moment you settle is the moment you stop growing. Early on, I demanded stellar results from my team without explaining how I had achieved them myself. That approach often led to tension, miscommunication, and an overworked me trying just to fix everything alone. Slowly I realized that the real power is in teaching them, giving them space to grow, and not panicking if their first attempts were below my standards, because often given time they would surpass me in many areas. Delegation isn't just a time saver, it's an act of trust that unlocks your team's hidden talents. There was a big shift from I must do it all to let me empower them to do it, and sometimes they do it even better. This is one of the most critical learnings for new leaders in particular, and once again forces you to reinvent yourself and try to look at things differently. If you look at these 3 points I mentioned, there are a few key common points I have noticed. Fear of not being good enough. The first one was that under my confident exterior, I worried that if a presentation or a test crashed, it meant that I was fundamentally lacking something. So I would mask my struggles to appear in control. But that facade blocked real growth. Acknowledging insecurities helped me own my progress and ask for the right support. This is when I shifted my mind from feeling hurt to driving action and continuous improvement in my life, beyond work in particular. That helped a lot to emphasize the growth as opposed to the fixed mindset and proving whether I'm good or not. Need for continuous self-evolution. The second one was that each major stumble reiterated that my old strategies and knowledge had an expiry date. If I refused to adapt, I would get stuck. Now I regularly retool my methods, whether it's how I study or lead a project, accepting that growth means constant tweaks and constant adjustments. Embrace feedback. Harsh critique might sting you at that moment, but they also point you the blind spots that you're not seeing. Next time someone rips your work apart, lean in, learn, and watch your skills leap forward. Reinvent your approach. If you keep failing at something, it screams that your tactics aren't working. Try new study plans, new tools, or different mentors. Stubbornly pushing the same method is a dead end. Trying to do exactly the same thing and expecting different results is the very definition of insanity. Empower others. Being a perfectionist can suffocate the team's potential. Sharing responsibilities, coaching them, and accepting good enough at times fosters synergy. You might be amazed when others outshine even your best efforts, but only time and right coaching can bring it. So, how can you integrate these career lessons? First, seek real feedback. Don't wait for a manager or a client to push it on you. Proactively ask peers or mentors, what can I improve? And then, above all, act on it. Change study and work methods. If stuck in a loop, test a different angle, use new software, watch tutorials, and talk to an expert. Reinvention is the key at the new challenge levels. Practice humble leadership. Let your team own part of the project. Offer guidance, but allow them to find their own approach. Growth happens when they are trusted and when you feel confident about building the environment that they can outgrow you in. Finally, reflect and adjust. After each tough project or exam, just take a pause. Ask, what's my biggest lesson? Then adopt at least one technique for the next round. Career challenges can feel like walls, but they often hide the doors to your next breakthrough. Whether it's being forced to revise a presentation 7 times, just bombing an exam 4 times, or discovering the power of letting go of perfectionism, each challenge can reshape you for the better if you just let it. If you're facing your own uphill battles, remember, feedback, reinvention, and empowerment might be the key steps to unlocking the next level of your career.